Advances in Pharmaceutical Sciences, Research and Practice, conducting by our institution, sponsored by Siddhartha Academy of Technical Education under the aegis of IQAC in association with APTI Andhra Pradesh branch. Before starting our session, I request my colleague Dr. I. Madhusun Reddy Garu to display a teaser of our college.
Madhu? Madhu?
Ravi.
One minute, sir.
Okay, no problem.
Yeah,
Madhu? Madhusudan?
Sorry for the inconvenience. It's a technical issue, I think. Our college was established in 1994, sponsored by Siddhartha Academy of General and Technical Education, which was the first private pharmacy institution in Andhra Pradesh. The college is offering 4-year B.Pharm, 2-year M.Pharm, and 6-year PharmD programs approved by PCI and ASCT. Now, prayer by Mrs. K. Vasanta Garu and Dr. N. Kanakadurga Garu.
वक्रतुण्डमहाकाय कोटिसूर्यसमप्रभा निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु सुखिनो भवन्तु सर्वे जना सुखिनो भवन्तु ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः
Thank you, ma'am. I request our HOD Dr. G. Vijay Kumar Garu to give an overview of virtual FDP.
Good morning, one and all. On behalf of KVSR Siddhartha College of Pharmaceutical Sciences, sponsored by Siddhartha Academy of General and Technical Education, Vijayawada, myself, Dr. G. Vijay Kumar, IQAC coordinator, welcomes you all to 1 week virtual international FDP on advances in pharmaceutical sciences, research and practice in association with Association of Pharmaceutical Teachers of India, AP State Branch. Faculty development programs are designed to improve the performance of faculty members in education, research, and administration, as well as augment in organizational capacities and culture. This FDP supports all the faculty members across the globe towards building a strong foundation of an educational system to ensure quality education. It will be inaugurated by today's chief guest, Professor T.V. Narayan Garu, President, Indian Pharmaceutical Association, who gave his consent in spite of his busy schedule. We are very happy and lucky enough for his gracious presence. This virtual FDP comprises of eminent speakers such as Professor K.P.R. Chaudhary Garu, retired professor of AU College of Pharmaceutical Sciences, Andhra University, Visakhapatnam, and today's speakers, Dr. Adepu Ramesh Garu, Principal, Vikas College of Pharmaceutical Sciences, Surapeta, Telangana, and Mr. Sai Krishna Gudi, Research Scholar, College of Pharmacy, Radi Faculty of Health Sciences, University of Manitoba, Canada, and Dr. Vijay Sarathi Setaluri, Associate Professor, Department of Applied Sciences, Higher College of Technology, Sultanate of Oman, Dr. M. Bhagavan Raj Garu, Principal, Sri Venkateswara College of Pharmacy, Hyderabad, and Dr. Siva Reddy Challa, Research Collaborator, Department of Cancer Biology and Pharmacology, University of Illinois, USA. And these sessions will be from daily 11 a.m. to 12 a.m. We anticipate every registered participant presence in the FDP and utilizes the power of knowledge incorporated by the eminent speakers. Thank you.
I thank you, sir. Now I play our beloved principal, sir, Dr. Deval Rao Garikipati, to give the welcome address for our 1 week international webinar.
Thank you, Dr. Vijay Lakshmi and Dr. Kanta Vijay Kumar. Very good morning to one and all. And respected Professor T.V. Narayan Garu, my beloved senior at Andhra University in the 1980s. And till today also, he is my well-wisher and well-wisher of all the pharmacy fraternity also. Dr. Adepu Ramesh Garu, my good friend and principal of Vikas College of Pharmaceutical Sciences, Surapeta, Telangana. Dr. Vijay Sarathi from Muscat. Dr. Bhagavan Raju, my senior at Andhra University. Professor K.P.R. Chaudhary, my teacher, my guide and my philosopher, I can say. And next, Dr. Siva Reddy, my colleague, and now he is in USA. And beloved participants and registered young faculty, very good morning to all of you. So dear friends, on behalf of Siddhartha College of Pharmaceutical Sciences, we have planned 1 week virtual international faculty development program by name of Advances in Pharmaceutical Sciences, Research and Practice. For this, with the help of my beloved colleagues, we have selected 6 eminent speakers who are none other than Professor K.P.R. Chaudhary, Dr. Adepu Ramesh, Dr. Sarathi, Dr. Siva Reddy, Dr. Bhagavan Raju, and Sai Krishna from University of Manitoba, Canada. Definitely, they are going to deliver excellent what is known as speeches, and these speeches, they are very useful for especially for the young teachers. The main aim of this virtual FDP is to encourage the young faculty members to learn the communication skills and teaching skills also, other purpose only we have selected excellent and eminent speakers. Today, we are lucky enough and we are also very fortunate in having Dr. T.V. Narayan Garu, who is recently elected for the second consecutive time as a national president, Indian Pharmaceutical Association, and he is also the director and principal of Vikas Institute of Pharmaceutical Sciences, Rajahmundry. He is the chief guest for the inaugural virtual FDP program. For that, we are very happy, sir. And coming to Dr. T.V. Narayan, sir, he is a legendary in the pharmacy. Everybody knows who is Dr. T.V. Narayana. Definitely, I can say time is not enough to read the bio sketch of Professor T.V. Narayana. But for the benefit of some of the young faculty members, I give a brief bio sketch. Sir has completed B.Pharm and M.Pharm from Andhra University. He is my super senior, almost 4 years senior to me. When I joined in B.Pharm, sir is in final year. After that, he has completed his MPhil and PhD from Acharya Nagarjuna University. After that, sir is the member of Board of Directors, Asian Association of Schools of Pharmacy. He was a General Secretary, Indian Pharmaceutical Congress Association. Sir is a member Syllabus Committee and Pharmacy Ethics Committee, Pharmacy Council of India. He has initiated IPA Student Forum and created the largest network of Indian pharmacy students in India. Man behind organizing many national level student congresses and 100 plus workshops throughout the country for the benefit of pharmacy students. Also organized 50 QAPs and more than 25 continuing education programs for the pharmacy community and hospital pharmacists. He was also a core committee member of Indian Host Committee of FIP World Congress held in 2011 at Hyderabad. After that, Sir has received several prestigious awards for his continuous service to the field of pharmacy. These few are: one is Sir has received Eminent Pharmacist Award from Indian Pharmaceutical Association. Next is IPA Fellowship Award. Next one is Shiksha Bhushan Award. Next one is the Best Teacher Award, and the next one is B.V. Patel Memorial Award for, and there are so many. In addition to that, very recently, just 3 or 4 days back, we got a very happy news also from FAPA, Federation of Asian Pharmaceutical Associations. They have conferred the Best Pharmacist Award in the pharmacy education from India, who is none other than Dr. T.V. Narayana. So with these few remarks, once again, we feel we are very happy, sir. We are very fortunate in having the presence of Dr. T.V. Narayan Garu for the inauguration of this 1 week virtual FDP going to be organized by KVSR Siddhartha College of Pharmaceutical Sciences, supported by Siddhartha Academy of General and Technical Education. I thank all the resource persons, especially Dr. Ramesh, Dr. Bhagavan Dasu, Dr. Sardi, Professor KPR Chaudhary Garu, and Sai Krishna and Dr. Sivareddy also for accepting our invitation and for going to deliver excellent lectures during the sessions. Daily in the morning, just in the beginning only, Dr. Vijay Kumar has informed it is a program for 1 hour only. After that, we'll have some questionnaire also. So my sincere appeal to all the my dear young pharmacy teachers is please make use of this session, because they are all eminent experts only, like Dr. Ramesh. Please utilize their services and try to improve your career. With these few remarks, now I thank all the organizers and my colleagues also. Now I request Dr. T.V. Narayan Garu to give the introductory remark to all the participants. Thank you, sir. Welcome, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Deval Rao.
Thank you, sir.
For the introduction. And first of all, my greetings from Indian Pharmaceutical Association on my behalf and on behalf of Indian Pharmaceutical Association to the organizers for organizing this virtual faculty development program. I am happy to know that KVSR Siddhartha College of Pharmaceutical Sciences, under the aegis of IQAC, is organizing a 1 week virtual international faculty development program on advances in pharmaceutical sciences, research and practice from 27th July to 1st August.
Yes.
First of all, my congratulations to the management of Siddhartha Academy and also the organizers, particularly my good friend, Dr. Deval Rao, principal of the college and also convener of this program. And my another good friend, Dr. Vijay Kumar, who is the coordinator of this IQAC. As informed in the beginning, KVSR Siddhartha is known as the first private pharmacy college in the state of Andhra Pradesh, developed from stage to stage to the level of Center for Excellence and given leaders to the profession. And I acknowledge the long-standing services of Deval, I think more than 25 years
Yes, sir.
he is serving in Siddhartha uh, and who has instrumental in giving letters to the profession, not only to the industry and also to the academy also. And also, I'm happy my teacher for both of us, Professor KPR Chaudhary, is also instrumental in developing this institution to the premier institute. Worked as a director in initial stages of Siddhartha Institute of Pharmaceutical Sciences. And my thanks to the resource persons, particularly another my good friend Adepu Ramesh and Dr. Mr. Sai Krishna, Dr. Vijay Sundar, Vijay Sarathi, and again my senior Dr. Bhagwan Raju, Dr. C.H. Sivareddy, for coming here, accepting the request of the organizers and going to deliver the talks during this faculty development program. And moreover, I am once again happy. It is purely international, means international, because person from Canada, US, and
Muscat.
Saudi, Muscat is also invited here. They are coming and delivering. And once again, I thank the resource persons for accepting and going to deliver the lectures for the benefit of the young budding pharmacist and the faculty. And coming to the present scenario, everybody knows this COVID-19 pandemic. It brought the unexpected changes, not only in everyone's life, but in every sector of the individuals. These unprecedented changes were most for academics. If you take all the sectors, the most worst affected area is the academia, because there was relaxation for other segments, even aviation and also tourism. There's slow relaxation, lockdown is lifting, but we don't know when the classwork will start, when the examinations will commence, and all this. Some of the areas, that's what I can say. Our academic areas are the worst affected. And during this situation, the new tagline, work from home, that's what earlier software people used to use. And even it has applied to academics also, work from home is the new tagline. And time has taken us to change from didactic teaching to digitalized teaching. That's what we are following now. I was delighted to see our teachers transformed themselves with jet speed and equipped themselves with new technology of this digitalization. Through, though we were not trained, because after the age of 55 plus or 60 plus, many teachers were trained to use this technology and present the lectures, online series of lectures and online education, all these things are happening. So hats up to the teachers who trained themselves, equipped themselves, and delivering the goods to the students during this pandemic period. The teachers are converting all the resources, whatever they are resources having, to digital platform and keeping the student busy. That's what we can say. At least our students were staying at home and listening to us and not moving and exposing to the COVID-19. And being a teacher, I proudly say the productivity for academics was the highest when compared with any other segment during this pandemic period. So definitely, I am proud to say the contribution of the teachers in this regard. And coming to the topic, that is advances in pharmaceutical sciences, research and practice. Pharmacy in India, how we started. Thousands of years, our people, they relied on medicinal properties of plants, animals, and minerals. That is the only source of drugs for several years. And 19th century is the beginning of modern era of pharma industry, started with chemical synthesis. 20th century marked unification of chemistry and physiology and increased the understanding of basic drug discovery process. That's how the advances took place in our pharma. The emergence of technocrats with scientific expertise developed the Indian pharma industry to greater heights. We feel that we were not developed nation. We are underdeveloped. We are backward when compared with the developed countries, particularly in the advances and the drug discoveries. If you take the history, the first pharmacy college in the world started in the year 1821 in the United States of America. The first pharmacy college in India was started in 1842 in Goa, that is started by Portuguese. So there was a gap of just 20 years. So we are nowhere behind the developed country. The first pharma industry was started in the year 1859 by Beachem in England. The first pharma industry in India was started in the year 1892. That is by Bengal Chemicals and Pharmaceutical Works in Kolkata, started by Praful Chandra Roy. So within 20 years, we started the education. Within 30 years, we started the pharma industry. We are not way behind, but we are way behind in the using the advances, using the technology. That's what I can say. Up to 1950s, we are import-dependent industry. Now see the scenario. We are number 3 in the world by volume, number 12 in the world by value. We are exporting to more than 180 countries. 40% of generics used in United States of America are manufactured in India. 25% of all the medicines used in United Kingdom are manufactured in India. More than 80% of HIV drugs, antiretroviral drugs, are supplied by Indian companies. And more than 60% of vaccines globally, again, are supplied by our Indian companies. So all these made our India as the hub of the pharmacy of the world. That's what whenever we go to other countries, India pharma means they used to say, oh, pharmacy of the world. India is pharmacy of the world. That was the great contribution of the industry leaders to our India. Though we achieved all these things, we say number 3 supplying like this business, $33 billion we are doing, and the business may go up to $55 billion by this year end. But till today, we have not produced a single chemical entity. We have not developed a single drug. We used only our reverse engineering technology, manufactured the drugs, supplied the drugs at affordable cost to the all the countries. Why? Because to come out with one NCA, that is new chemical entity, it takes 10 to 12 years of research. And also more than nearly $2 billion of expenses. That was the statistics given by the industry experts. And also out of the 10,000 molecules screened, we don't know how many will come to the market. That was the data. After implementation of this Patent Act, after becoming partners of TRIPS and GATT agreement, now we started investing in R&D. Our companies also started around 15% of investment on R&D. I think in future, our industry may come out with one blockbuster molecule. That's what we are, industry experts are expecting. No doubt we have to use the technology for the advancements. If you take the great words given by Abdul Kalam, our honorable ex-president of India, technology is an important tool to give fast healthcare. We have to use it. That's what golden words told by APJ Abdul Kalam. These advancements are revolutions. If you take in our globe or in our life. The first revolution came in the year 1765 using the steam power. So people started using the steam energy and started manufacturing the things. And the second revolution came in the year 1870 with electrical power. So batches of uh, material started coming out in group, in mass. The third revolution took place in the year 1969 with electronics, that's computer, Internet of Things and all. The fourth revolution or fourth advancements, we are in that stage. It is digitization. Already we are experiencing digitization is coming into every aspect, even education it entered, even industry it entered. That is the era, digitization. These advancements brought exponential changes in the way we live, in the way we work. These disruptive technologies, that's what they are calling now, the advancements making pharma industry to more digitalized, more customized, and more personalized. That's what the experts are saying during this fourth industrial revolution or advancements. The pharma profession is going to witness a sea changes in the drug discovery and development process during this revolution. The artificial intelligence, 3D technology, robotics, Internet of Things, virtual reality, body sensors or biosensors, nanotechnology. These are all some of the advancement going to take place in further research. And also the areas of research, the top 10 areas of the research going to happen is in neurological disorders, respiratory disorders, liver diseases, oncology, hematology, and drugs of HIV and AIDS, and all these some of the areas of research of interest in future. These are some of the advances taking place in industry point of view, but advances in practice point of view, we are way long behind, no doubt in it. Because my friend Dr. Adepu Ramesh is well versed in the area of pharmacy practice, is going to highlight where we stand and where the international fraternity or international community is ahead of us. Why? Because most of our community pharmacists are diploma in pharmacy holders. More than 8 lakh registered pharmacists are there. They are all with the diploma in pharmacy qualification. No B Pharm or Pharm D are coming to the community pharmacy practice area. That is the lacuna here. And the diploma in pharmacy were not trained properly to suit the needs of the pharmacy practice area. That was the unfortunate thing in our area. Still, we are following the education regulations 1991. There are hardly 4 changes every 10 years. The regulations should change. We are coming only year 61, year 71, year 81, year 91. Though year 2011 prepared to train the diploma in pharmacy holder to suit the needs of the practice, still those regulations has not come into picture due to various reasons. And the PharmD was introduced recently, that is in the year 2008, with new to strengthen the areas of pharmacy practice and also to come out with the concept of pharmaceutical care, which is the buzzing word in the practice area. That's what I can say. The practice is a long way. It takes some more time to come up or to meet the on par with the developed countries. When I have visited the developed countries, I have seen how the pharmacy practice area, they were equipped, how much advancement they are taking place. They have gone to a stage, pharmacist in oncology, pharmacist in nephrology, pharmacist in cardiology, that is super specialty pharmacist. So that is the way they are functioning. That is the way they are working seriously, giving counseling to the patients. You cannot take a drug without the counseling by the pharmacist. That is what we have observed there. That much commitment is there in the practice area in developed countries. So our teachers should understand. See, even We are also giving degrees, B.Pharm, M.Pharm, PhD, and even in developed countries also giving the same degree. We are also giving PharmD. But what type of knowledge we are giving to the students? Even the students and teachers should understand. They are simply coming, studying, taking the certificate, first class, second class, and going out. And they are working a job, in a jobs. But the main difference of our learning, the main difference of learning of developed countries, problem-based learning, evidence-based learning, outcome-based learning. These are the areas they are very much focused. That is what I want to advise our young teachers. How much knowledge the student is gaining from these areas, that should be important rather than just giving a certificate with the first class or second class, a distinction or gold medal, whatever it is. When I have gone through some of my friends, particularly a small country, Israel, not even 6 million population. Last 3 years, they topped in patents. 2000 plus patents every year. I asked how you are getting all these patents when I met that fellow in FIP meeting. They said they initiate the research at the university level and the staff was given in charge for that, and the students will continue the work. Even though after completion of their studies, the senior student will come and guide the junior student. They will not leave the college. Okay, my job is over. I completed my degree. I took my degree. I joined the year. They are guiding the next junior student. That's how they are able to come out with lot of patents all these 3 years. That's what I advise our staff to adapt in their respective institutions. If you frankly speaking, the actual research starts at the university and institutional level only. You take any top drug which has come out is from the laboratory only, not from the R&D lab. It has come from the college research centers. Now also, if you take the Oxford University has come out with the vaccine which was on the phase 3 clinical trials, that has come from institution, university level only. So we should concentrate on this area of research, because the research means pharmacy, particularly not only pharmacy fellows or people will come out with the drug with the blockbuster molecule. It is a multidisciplinary approach. You require molecular biologist, you require chemistry person, you require biochemistry person. All these people combined only they will come out with the molecule. Alone pharmacy people cannot come with the molecule. This multidisciplinary approach and attitude should be developed if you are really interested in research. That's what. Like that in practice area, you have to go with the doctors, you have to go with the nurses, you have to go with the technicians. If you want to have the advances and research in the practice area, alone a pharmacist, pharmacy person cannot come out with any innovation. That's what I want to advise. Again, when I went to National Taiwan University 2 years back, I was shocked to see one engineer and one dentist. They are coming and doing research in pharmacy lab. Then I asked, what is your specialization? They said, I am a dental doctor. I am an engineer. So we both are collaborating and coming out with some implants, some technology they are using with the help of the pharmacy people. That's what they are doing the research. So that's what I want to advise our present young faculty and students. Even in practice, the pharmacy involvement in pharmaceutical care, patient counseling, ADR reporting, therapeutic drug monitoring, all these things they should learn during their internship. They should be serious. That's what I want to say, which was lagging, particularly from the students of from the state of Andhra Pradesh. So these are the areas you should train yourself, equip yourself, know the advancement. What are the advancements taking place? How much we can contribute to the society with our knowledge gained. That's what I want to advise the present generation faculty and students. So with these few words of introduction, I thank the organizers, particularly Dr. Deval Rao and Dr. Vijay, for giving me the opportunity for inaugurating this virtual international faculty development program. And also, I wish this 1 week program is going to be a big success. with the deliberations from the experts, both national and international, and sharing their expertise to the new generation or young generation. And it definitely, I wish this 1 week going to be a big success. My best wishes to you all, and my best wishes to all the participants. Thank you for giving me the opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for encouraging words and about the research, enlightening about research. Really, we are very proud of our teachers, as you expressed. So please accept our deepest thanks. Thank you very much, sir. Now, over to Dr. Jyotirmayi Devineni to start today's session.
Good morning, everyone. Myself, Jyotirmayi Devineni, fortunate and glad to invite and introduce Dr. Ramesh Adepu Garu, with glorious career spanning for more than 2.5 decades as an acclaimed academician and researcher at the Department of Pharmacy Practice, JSS College of Pharmacy, Mysore. Dr. Ramesh Garu involved in teaching undergraduate and postgraduate students and supervising their research and coordinating national and international funded research projects. He is also currently working as principal cum director at Vikas College of Pharmaceutical Sciences, Suryapeta, Telangana. Functioning as chairman, Hospital Pharmacy Division, IPA, he had been a key resource person for numerous training programs, national, international conferences, workshops in the field of community pharmacy practice and clinical pharmacy practice and pharmacovigilance, amongst many. He is also life member of IPA, IHPA, APTI, FIP, PSA, ISPE, and ACCP. He is actively involved in capacity building and training of practicing pharmacists and PharmaD students. He has guided more than 45 postgraduate students, 25 PharmD dissertations, and 1 PhD student. Apart from delivering presentations at various national and international forums, he has 55 research publications in various peer-reviewed national and international journals, 3 textbook chapters, and 1 textbook to his credit. He has successfully completed 40 lakh worth funded research projects from various governmental agencies such as UGC, AICTE, and AIOCD. His professional expertise translated into development of first indigenous clinical decision support system, Clinirex, a one-stop solution for evidence-based drug information, and ACPE standard clinical pharmacy documentation and evaluation software to build the professional competencies among PharmD students. Clinirex is marketed by Taiki Innovations Private Limited, a startup company approved by Government of India under his leadership as Chief Operating Officer. I am very much glad to invite you and grace the occasion, sir. At the end of the session, attendance will be given through Telegram. Now the session is open to Dr. Ramesh, sir.
Thank you very much. I would like to share my presentation. How do I have to go? Yeah. Good morning to everybody. Thank you very much, Dr. Deval Rao Garu, for choosing me as one of the resource persons for the week-long faculty development training programs. Respected Dr. Deval Rao and the convener, Dr. Vijay Kumar, my best friend, Dr. T.V. Narayan,
President, Indian Pharmaceutical Association, and the recent Ishidata awardee from FAPA, and other senior faculty members, the resource persons who are taking part in this week-long faculty development training program. I'm very much happy when Dr. Vijay Kumar had asked me, would you like to take a topic of your choice for this faculty development training program? The topic which came to my mind immediately was home medicine's review program, because everybody currently speaking about the pharmacy practice. In 2007, the concept was seeded in India by Dr. B. Suresh, B.G. Nagavi, who were my mentors, teachers, in association with the University of South Australia. I'm very fortunate enough to become the first batch student of the MPharm Pharmacy Practice program. To our luck, since the program was in collaboration with the University of South Australia and Repatriation General Hospital, Kerine Neifort Hansen, the clinical pharmacist who visited Jesus Hospital in guidance from Mr. Frank May, who was the chief pharmacist at that time in the Repatriation General Hospital, and who is the key person to bring the clinical pharmacy program to India. He was very much instrumental. And when she came to Mysore, she trained us the concept of pharmacy practice. She used to take us for the ward activity, how to review a treatment chart, how to analyze the drug-related issues, how to talk to a patient, how to identify an adverse drug reaction, and how to report it. What is the concept of drug information? How to dissect when an query is asked, find out a correct question and get the correct answer for that. All these skills actually was given to us by Kerine. And in 2003, I was fortunate enough to have FIP travel grant. That time the FIP conference was in Sydney, so I was lucky enough to get that grant and visit Australia, made a presentation in Sydney conference, and followed by, since I am going to Australia, that was the time I requested Kerine that I am coming to Australia. So immediately she worked out a plan for about 3 weeks, kind of exposure, like real-time exposure, what I can get on and training at the Repatriation General Hospital. So in that process, I was fortunate enough to be introduced to that time South Australian Pharmacists Association, Mr. Grant Kardashi, who was the president of South Australian Pharmacists Association, and he is the HMR pharmacist. An accredited HMR pharmacist, is a trainer, he is a pharmacist by, he's a community pharmacist, and he is also a trainer, who took me to the various, like almost I was with him for about 3 days. Who took me to various old age homes, houses, like how he was doing this HMR activity. It was a practical on-hand training was given to me. I was very much surprised how much pharmacists can support the patient, equally complement the clinical care given by the doctors in collaboration, benefit the patients. See, this was a wonderful concept I learned from him. Then when we started our work in Mysore, I think I took up the more interest apart from the clinical pharmacy activity, because being the faculty in the clinical pharmacy department, to support the practice activity at the clinical pharmacy department, I also felt there is so much that we can do for the community pharmacists, because the pharmacy activity at the clinical pharmacy only focus for about 20% of the patient, but 80% of the patients are there in the community who needs actual support, and that can be done only with the community pharmacists. Just now our beloved IPA president Dr. Narayana had said, it is community pharmacists, majority of them are only with a diploma in pharmacy qualification, and unfortunately 70% of the pharmacies are run by the non-pharmacists, where no pharmacist will be there. So obviously the amount of information or support or care to be given for the patients, honestly it is only supply of the medicine. Just it is a trade, not any kind of care. So in that way, I thought, why not we explore this niche area? Why not we support the pharmacists who are there? Let them build that activity in their regular practice, so that people get attracted to the pharmacy, so that the people understand how much pharmacists can help them. So thereby the recognition, reputation, and remuneration, all that one by one, it can come to the community pharmacy. So that was my vision, and then we started that activity way back in, I think, 2000. I started that activity. After that, in 2005, like continuously, I did a lot of training programs across the state of Karnataka, involving hundreds of community pharmacists, including in association with the Karnataka State Pharmacy Council. Later, I got an opportunity to work along with All India Organization for Chemists and Druggists, trained almost 2 to 3,000 pharmacists across Maharashtra continuously for almost 5 to 6 years. And then even pan India, under the guidance, under the support from AOCD. Then I felt there is so much we can do for the community pharmacists, because this is more pertaining to the community pharmacy activity. Home medicine service is more pertaining to the community pharmacy activity. So in that way, I felt, yes, why not we do? It's only my learning, but why not we do experimentally in Mysore? So we initiated a kind of activity in Mysore also. We got wonderful results, because we worked in association with the general practitioners. We presented this concept to IMA, and one senior general practitioner was very much interested in this, and then we had a series of discussions, and then we started working. In fact, it was a pilot based, but the findings were wonderful, and these findings I presented to the ICMR. We got a kind of applaud, and they asked us to give me a full proposal for granting the money for that. So there is so much in this. Now, since it is being the faculty development training program, the faculty who are very much involved in teaching in the pharmacy practitioners, especially the PharmD students, and those who are very keen to uh, give the research projects at the fifth year level. Yeah, this is one of the activity they can give it to them, and even that can be, because see what happens is, unless all colleges come out with a very good meaningful research activities, and the data which is developed and the data which is presented to the policymakers or to the government, then probably there is a recognition definitely we can achieve from the government, and then definitely there will be opportunities for the jobs for our budding PharmD graduates, both in the hospital setting, in community setting. In fact, recently I had a discussion with the Mr. Shinde, and he immediately asked me to 10 CVs from the PharmD graduates who are willing to work in Mumbai. And I explained the whole activity, what we can do, and immediately he said, but unfortunately the lockdown situation is there. But after 15th of August, he said, definitely we will take up this task, and he had identified some pharmacies where he wants to put the PharmD graduates only giving the professional services, not for filling the prescriptions. So in that way, the concept want to be spread around. Let's hope things will work out in very optimistic way and futuristic way, and then definitely there is going to be a good future for our pharmacy graduates. So with this, just I want to take you into the concept of this home medicines review program. Basically, it is initiated way back in 2001 in Australia. Being Australia is almost 25.8 million population spread in different states, and if you look at the size of the Australia, it is 3 times bigger than India. But coming to the population, it's about 2.5 crores or closing to 3 crores. Even not state of Telangana or Andhra Pradesh, that is the situation. But then the way the healthcare system is developed and delivered, it is far superior. The hospital admissions, because of the adverse events, they range from just 5.6% in the general population, and it is in the hospital settings almost 5 to 6%. It is going to be in the hospital setting, but in general population and elderly population, it is going to be very much higher, 30.4% in the elderly population of these adverse events. See, that is a concern because healthcare in Australia, it is completely federal funded. Government pays for everything. You need not have to take. You don't need to any what do you call insurance. It's a government funded. So as long as you are an Australian, your health is completely protected by them. Any hospital you can just walk in, yeah, in that nearby areas, and then definitely can be given the best care. You need not have to spend even a single dollar. See, that is the advantage. So that's the reason they are very much concerned about drug-induced adverse events. So thereby they don't want to unnecessarily waste money in curing the adverse events. See, the majorly problem is one adverse drug reaction. It is not that just it is causing an adverse drug reaction, but ultimately managing the adverse drug reaction is a challenge. $200 billion are spent by only managing the adverse drug reactions by US. Almost uh, almost $200 are spent by the UK, and in India we have calculated what is the cost actually to manage one adverse drug reaction. It is something about 700 rupees to 3,000 rupees you have to spend out just for one patient, one adverse event. Imagine number of adverse events which takes place per annum in India in 130 crore population, and what money that has to be spent for caring or managing the adverse drug reaction. Just imagine what is going to be the money. It's a huge money. Here, only 20% is spent, only 20% is taken care by the government, but the remaining 80% has to be spent by the patients. 80% of population not having any governmental support. They have to spend from their pocket. Just calculate how much money we are unnecessarily spending on all these things. So this added to this, adherence is a big challenge. Even in India, it is a big challenge. Many times patients don't take medications, maybe because of the cost, deprived of the financial support, or too many drugs, or sometimes they get adverse events, and some of various reasons adherence level is very very low. It's very low in Australia. It is to the extent of 50 to 60%, and this definitely is not a good sign because the desired health outcomes are not achieved. So that is a big challenge here. So another challenge why HMR is to be given is 59% of adults do not have the minimum level of literacy required to understand the health information. Even in India, the same situation. There also the similar kind of situations, especially aboriginals, others, they may not be having that much of understanding about how to take the medications and how to use the medication. So that's where the government felt, yeah, there must be some special program where the patients can be helped, so that the patients can adhere to the medications, and then the patients can be brought back to the normal health. So that is where the concept has come. So these are all the findings which suggested the need for a strategy to improve the use of medicines and prevent the adverse drug events, help achieving in health outcomes. This is the reason actually the HMR concept has come into the picture. It is a community pharmacist professional service in Australia, and also known as a domiciliary medication management review program, which is funded through the third guild government agreement. It is the pharmacists and the government made an initial agreement, third guild agreement, where they will come out with the unique activity, what is called as the home medicines review program. This home medicine review program, it is not only pharmacist is involved. It is something you feel what is happening in the clinical pharmacy, what we are teaching in the clinical pharmacy, especially ward activity or hospital activity. That is hospital activity. Clinical pharmacy, what we are doing, is in a hospital activity. Similar clinical pharmacy activity which is actually happening in the community setting, in association with the community pharmacists. Here, patient, community pharmacist, general practitioner, all the three are involved. It is not that people work in isolation, it is a teamwork. And it's a wonderful teamwork, not that you are just only providing service. Financially, it is highly remunerative activity. So that's why doing HMR activity, people require special training, and people need to qualify themselves. Once you are accredited HMR pharmacist, only the reviews will be sent to you. So that's where your speciality or your expertise that will come in limelight. And if you are, honestly speaking, I have seen some people who are HMR pharmacists whom I have interacted, whom I worked there. I feel it is an intellectual contribution. In fact, doctors respect you a lot. They share the cases, they discuss with you in person, and they say, this is what is my diagnosis, this is what is the treatment I have given. And I find still there is no anticipated outcomes, what I'm supposed to get from the patients. I feel probably your presence, your assistance makes me to come out of this problem. See, that is where the pharmacist's recognition comes. So that's the reason I felt, why I want to take this concept here is because we are giving this to the faculty. My wish is the faculty should be tuned. They should take it in a very positive way, and they should motivate themselves, especially the teachers who are teaching the PharmD. They should motivate themselves and see that how much treasure is therein. The treasure, how much we dig in, the more we get it, especially in the pharmacy practice. That's the reason HMR was introduced in October 2001 to recognize the broader role of pharmacists and value of the pharmacy in the primary healthcare delivery. Coming to the definition, what exactly is this HMR pharmacies? It's a consumer-focused, collaborative service involving a general practitioner and a community pharmacist in the consumer's home to make a clinical assessment and a report that should be given to the general practitioner for further better management. It is not that patient who goes to the general practitioner, does examination, come out with a diagnosis, give a prescription, what do we call as a drug menu, maybe 5 medicines, 6 medicines, anything, whatever that comes to their mind and just given, and patient goes, purchases it, takes it or not. It's not like that here. Everything is accountable. Whatever that we are giving, everything is through the electronic health records. Just they go to the pharmacy, they know by the moment they put the electronic health record number, then they will open it and they will see how much it is actually it is actually been given, and the pharmacist immediately will be understanding the prescription, have a dialogue with the doctor, and then medicines are filled. Then the patient takes the medications, but something it is not working well. When the patient go back to the GP, then they will understand something is problem here. So immediately the he will ask for HMR. He will make a request for an HMR involving the community pharmacists. By doing HMR, how much the benefit the patient is going to derive? It is to detect and resolve the medication related problems. HMR also helps in motivating the doctor to use the correct medications for that patient. So that means quality use of medications, and thereby what expected from the treatment the patient gets that outcomes, and thereby the patient comes back to the normal. So health related quality of life is improved. Everything is interlinked and everything benefits the patient. Healthy patient, healthy society adds to the productivity, adds to the national productivity. That's how the society and the country becomes rich. See, this is the whole concept. Patients, like the more the number of individuals or patients, obviously, the more the exchequer is consumed. So that's where the country becomes, they lose the money. So here it is adding the value to the country economy. So that is what is the essence of the HMR. That's why it is being recognized, accepted, and immediately funded by the federal government. How this whole HMR activity goes on. As I've already mentioned, a patient who is not showing performance, means the expected health outcomes are not really being observed. Patient signs, symptoms are not under control. Patients really not doing something patients are not taking the medications, or patients are not getting the benefit of the medications. Patients who are on multiple medications, who are just discharged from the hospital, and sometimes when the next consultation the doctor adds more medications, so any significant changes which are made in the treatment, and the patient expected to meet 2-3 doctors, specialists. Such are the people who generally requires the HMR. They are the people who are considered for the HMR there in Australia. So once a general practitioner identify the patient will be referred to HMR activity. So the HMR activity means it's an organization where the referral will be sent to the nearby pharmacist, means who is an accredited HMR pharmacist, who is also a community pharmacist, who is very close by to the patient's house. So once the referral is sent to the HMR pharmacist will he has to accept it, and once he consents, then the general practitioner will come into the picture. So general practitioner explains everything to the community pharmacist. probably community pharmacists are asked to visit the general practitioner's clinic. Then they will have in person the dialogue about the patient, and patient health records are shared to the HMR pharmacist. We'll go through, he'll work out like from past medical history, present complaints and present clinical condition, present medication, labs, all that what like a clinical pharmacist does in the hospital, same everything, he will review everything, and then he will initiate a dialogue with the patient. Patient will be called and he introduces himself and then says, I received your HMR from your general practitioner. Is it fine? Can I visit you? What is the best time? What is the best time that suits to you so that I can visit you? And we can have a discussion in person, and we can review what's happening with your medication taking. Then the patient, obviously, somebody is who is very clear and keen to improve and keen to help the patient definitely says yes. So a time will be selected as per both the pharmacist and the patient convenience, and then it is fixed. Accordingly, the HMR pharmacist visit the patient's house. It's a very friendly environment because I have been taken there, so I understood how that activity was done. And the pharmacist will ask the patient to show, though the pharmacist having all the information, but still he just encourages the patient, and in a very very casual way, involving the patient, encouraging the patient to involve himself in the discussion, and ask the patient what medications the patient is taking, just request him to show all that and see how each medicine is being taken, and he will examine, like for example, an inhaler is being used, so how you are using, can you just demonstrate to me, or an insulin pen, how you are using, can you just show me, in this way the pharmacist put the patient to more into the discussion and activity, so thereby a kind of very friendly environment is created, and pharmacist in the patient also feels more comfortable in sharing the information to the patient, into the to the pharmacist. And it is not like just pharmacist asking, issuing, pharmacist will try to make assessment of every activity, and then he will understand like any problem associated with the compliance. Does the patient is having any memory issues, especially patients who are 60 plus, by any chance the Alzheimer impact is there. So all these are assessed. Compliance related issues, and any adverse related issues, and any kind of interactions which is leading to adverse event, and thereby the patient is not really comfortable in taking the medication, everything is assessed. Sometimes patients not know how to use the medicines, so even that also will be assessed. By chance if it is missed at the pharmacy level, even that also will be assessed. And not that just he collects the information, the pharmacist, he will see that once again each and every medicine is being told to the patient, explains how to use them, explains like any issues in using the medication, and convince the patient, consoles the patient, comforts the patient that how important are these medicines to keep him back to the normal life. He relates everything with how much he can enjoy his life with his partner or with his family or with the friends and everything. So the moment the pharmacist explains all this, the patient also feels, yes, I have to enjoy. So that kind of idea is kindled in the mind of the patient. So thereby the patient accepts the recommendations, advice given by the pharmacist, and accepts to oblige to do everything what the pharmacist said. It's meanwhile, like during the discussion, what type of questions are being asked. Like, how long have you been taking this medicine? Does this medicine is there in this original container, or by any chances you have replaced into another container? Do you have an idea why this medicine is being used? Do you know like what for it is being used? Are you sure how to take it? And when are you taking this? How often you are taking this? And do you know how to keep, like, for example, if you are an employee or working elsewhere, or you're going to your job, maybe busy with your work, and it's important that you have to take the medication, by any chance you have forgotten to take this medicine. So in that case, how do you keep this in your daily routine? And do you, by any chance, while you are on medicine, feel something discomfort, like any discomfort you have when you are on this medicine? By any chance, do you experience any itching, irritation, or some kind of allergic manifestations? Do you get any non-prescription medicines apart from what you have now with you? By any chance, do you go, when you go to the supermarket, and when you see something, like for example, the herbal medicines or such kind of formulations, if you feel it, you like to take it, by any chance, do you take this? Anything that you have with you now? Has anyone given you medicines such as vitamins, herbal formulations, or homeopathic medicines? Do you use any other form of medication or home remedies, that products prescribed by any other source, maybe family members or maybe relatives, maybe your friends? See, these kind of the questions are generally being asked. Once the entire session gets over, the pharmacist prepares a complete report. Whatever the case records were given to the pharmacist by the GP, in response to that, it is mandatory home medicines review report must be prepared, including the management plan, because it's a therapeutic advice the pharmacist is expected to give. So the complete report is made, and it is mailed to the general practitioner, and one copy along with that to the government for the reimbursement. And the clinician, once he gets a report, then he discusses everything with the patient, either maybe one to one, or sometimes online, or phone, or web calling, yeah, whatever it is. Then come to a conclusion what should be done for the patient, so that the patient gets rid of the manifestations, get rid of the issues what he was anticipating, and then now the patient gets a benefit of the whole change, and then comes back to the normal life. Here, this is the whole process of the HMR activity. Like, your general practitioner determines if a HMR is appropriate for you. It's a patient. For the patient, depending upon the manifestations, depending upon the outcomes, maybe they are negative outcomes, maybe adverse events or drug interactions or non-adherence, whatever that. So once the patient is identified as an HMR pharmacist, then if you are happy for the HMR to be conducted in your home, you can then choose which pharmacy or active pharmacist conducts the HMR. Sometimes, they are attached to a nearby community pharmacy. Probably he is HMR pharmacist, or not necessarily is an HMR pharmacist. If he is not is not a HMR pharmacist, he can say this is the pharmacy I'm attached with. Then nearby HMR pharmacist, definitely the list will be there with the doctor, or to the organization he will send a request, and then the HMR pharmacist will get a call, and then he'll get a referral, and ultimately he makes up the whole thing and then makes a visit to the uh, patient's house. As I said, patient will be interviewed, and finally HMR report will be prepared, will be sent to the GP finally discusses, makes changes, and HMR plan will be further continued, that is medication management plan, and they will analyze the outcomes. Once again, if it is not comfortable, like after observing for 2-3 months, the patient is still not showing any much improvement or getting benefit, then yeah, once again another HMR also can be recommended. The same process, it continues. What is the HMR unique aspect from the pharmacist point of view? It's an intellectual contribution. What you are doing is an intellectual contribution. It's not just filling the prescription. It is an intellectual contribution. You are analyzing the whole therapy. You are analyzing the patient clinical condition and applying the knowledge to resolve the problems what the patient is having, and in the form of the advice you are giving a report to the doctor. That is a medication management plan, a report. That report will get you a payment of $140 per patient. Per patient, the pharmacist gets $140. Just imagine, 2 patients a day gets you almost $280. Even if you work for 20 days as a community pharmacy, yeah, you will earn your own money, but this is in your professional intellectual earning. For this you are getting 140, whereas the GP is getting only $120 for participating, both of you, in this activity. The consumer's local community pharmacy of choice acts to coordinate the HMR and also may act as a point of referral. In case if he is not HMR pharmacist, he will have his own link with the close by, nearby HMR pharmacist. He can even be a freelancer, not necessarily that you have to have a community pharmacy. You are an intellectual. It is not that you are just only giving the service to the patient in the house. Even you can go and you can be a consultant to the nearby nursing homes. Even you can be a consultant visiting to the old age homes. Yeah, you can definitely, per day 2 to 3 patients you can do the review. Yeah, you can be a freelancer, not necessarily you are attached with a pharmacy or you are attached with some hospital or anything. You can be just freelancer, but still you can make good money. There is a comprehensive program to support pharmacists and GPs in delivering the service, that is called as Medication Management Review Facilitator Program. It's something wonderful once again. Here it is like a TOT, like our FDP. This is HMR pharmacists like our faculty, and the program is FDP. Their Medication Management Review Facilitator Program. So who are all HMR pharmacists are there? For them, every month a kind of training activity will be done. It is like case-based training, like what we do in the ward for the students to teach the bedside teaching. The same way case will be created and the case will be explained and asked how to do it. The similar way the dissection of the case and identifying the drug-related issues, how to resolve the drug-related issues. It's a wonderful something, probably in Royal Adelaide Hospital, we had one professional, the pharmacy professor, Chris Alderman. He used to train, because when I was working with Grand Kardashi, like whenever in that 3 days process, I had an opportunity to interact, like how this whole activity goes on. And Chris Alderman, he stepped in and he used to help and dissecting the case, take out the drug-related issues, how to fix them, and giving the complete strategy. So that means complementing the HMR pharmacists to become more competent enough to do the professional service in a very satisfying way for both the GPs as well as to the patients, largely to the government. See, this is how the facilitator program also goes on to supplement or to complement the HMR pharmacists. And this HMR pharmacist medication management review MMR facilitator program, it's a guild initiative in partnership with the Australian divisions of general practice. MMR facilitator provides support, advice, assistance, and information to local pharmacists and GPs through the information sessions to encourage practicing community pharmacists to become approved by the Health Insurance Commission to receive the HMR referrals. See, in this way, they also support the community pharmacists, helps them to become more competent enough. This was the activity which I was doing through the continuing education programs. So whatever I used to teach, say for example, if the pharmacist is being trained, especially this I have done in Mumbai a lot through the Maharashtra State Pharmacy Council. There, like it is not like just I have gone there, I trained the pharmacists, whatever that I have learned. In fact, that was translated into the realistic change. Many pharmacists, they have reshaped their pharmacy, created a space for the counseling, created a space for the health screening services, including it's something more appealing and more it gives a lot of happiness. One pharmacist in Vashi, he started nebulization program. Suddenly midnight, a fellow who is choking, who has difficulty in breathing, can run into that pharmacy and he provide that nebulization activity. And nearby the pulmonologist, they appreciate it. And next morning, the patient will go to the pulmonologist, and pulmonologists were very happy that yes, his patient is saved at that emergency hour. And that fellow used to refer other patients to this pharmacist. That kind of the support, if it is given for our Indian community pharmacists, definitely there is going to be a huge opportunity in our country with 130 crore population, 8 lakh pharmacies around and still growing. It's great opportunity. We have so much scope. The question is, whatever I spoke, is it a theoretical or really it is having some evidence? The evidence is not that just I have offered a service and the patient is benefited. It's not like that. Evidence is a systematically carried out activity. All observations are captured in the form of results, interpreted, and found out what exactly is the ultimate outcome. So these evidences are published in journals. It is not like something what I have done something great. It is not like boosting. It is to be documented. Andrew Gilbert, he was the chair of the pharmacy practice department in the University of South Australia at the time, and he was the professor. And him, Bailby, Mott, they're all the faculty and students. They have done a collaborative medication management service, improving the patient care, and they published journal in Medicine Journal of Australia in 2002. I was in 2003 there. In 2002, it was published. And the finding says collaborative medication management by general practitioners and the pharmacists helped in identifying medications that pose risk to patients, assisted them in resolving medication-related problems. Resolving indicates it is translating benefit to the patient, improving the health outcomes, bringing the patient back to the normal life. See, that is what bringing the patient back to the normal life is more important. That's happening. That's happening because of an intervention of HMR. See, that is what is the contribution of HMR. That's what is the beauty of the service. Ronald Castellino, he was our ex-JSS alumni. Timothy F. Chan, he was the guide. Under him, he did that his PhD work there. He did retrospective evaluation of home medicines review by pharmacists in older Australian population using the medication appropriateness index. It was published in Annals of Pharmacotherapy in 2010. Collaborative HMR has a potential to minimize the risk of medication inappropriateness. Unfortunately, many people in our settings do not know what is the meaning of inappropriateness. Every doctor, if you say, if you just give this word, they will laugh at you or probably casual you. Inappropriate. What we prescribe is inappropriate. There is a Beers criteria. Beers criteria indicates what to be given for the elderly patients, what not to be given for the elderly patients. As their system is becoming, like, in activity slowly diminishing, many organs do not function. There are so many medications not to be given for the elderly patients, or if at all to be given, only in the low dose it has to be given. That Beer criteria explains all these concepts. Recently, we have published a paper in association with our Kamini Hospital. The medical superintendent was astonished to see, and he himself was surprised, saying, "This much of irrational use is happening in our hospital." Yes, and we have published that paper in Indian Journal of Pharmacy Practice. He was very much happy. Yeah, these kind of the problems are there. Why don't we take initiative and try to minimize? Yes, that is what is the anticipation. Collaborative HMR has the potential to minimize the risk of medication inappropriateness and thereby improve the patient outcomes. Like, when you select these elderly patients and see that what medicines are being given, whether it is really needed or not, better taper it off, and then or where dose need to be readjusted, adjust it, see the outcomes, how much patient is getting the benefit of these changes. That is very important. That was the study done by Ronald, and he got a good publication there. Collaborative approach in home medicines review with the family physician and the pharmacist has identified and prevented medicines that can cause falls in elderly patients. There are so many medications which causes falls. Suddenly, elderly patient is getting out of the bed, and there is a dizziness because of decreased blood pressure in the central nervous system. Suddenly fell down, as all of us know, their bones become fragile as they advance in their age, and it can cause a break in the femur. Imagine what's going to happen. It's all because of that medicine which has caused the dizziness. Is it not necessary for us to understand it is likely to cause this dizziness? Why not we adjust the dose, or why not we take out that medication? Because it's like, prevention is better than cure. I understand definitely there is going to be a big problem for an elderly patient when the femur is broke. Imagine what is the burden to him as well as to the family members. It's huge. So it indicates this service has a lot of benefit for the patients. This was Grant Kardashian. I was in his pharmacy in 2003, and he was very much happy helping me, taking me out for all the 3 days. We moved around, and really was very much a nice gentleman. In fact, in I think in 2010 or 11, we conducted another program in Mysore on HMR. That time, both Mrs. and Mr. Grant Kardashian both visited Mysore. He had given a wonderful session on HMR. I was very much fascinated, and it was his pharmacy. She was his wife, and she's also pharmacist. Both are the pharmacists. This is the counseling area where things are kept. Like, a table is there, a small table with one-to-one, two chairs are there, one-to-one interaction can be done. and he can explain and all that. You can see here the inhaler like spacer is being kept there, and he gives a kind of support, caring for the patients. Now the point is, we learned this concept. Does India require this HMR? Definitely it requires, because now the pharmacy practice regulations, though we have made it, once we start implementing, then we know how much is the, like the, what do you say, the fathom, the depth in the sea. The fathom is, you cannot measure the depth in the sea. See, that kind of situation is there in the country. 130 crore population, 1 lakh formulations, rational combinations, polypharmacy, so much opportunity for the HMR. Because 1 out of every 5 Indians is diabetic, suffering with so many other complications, hypertension, cardiovascular complications, even rheumatic complications as the age advances. Polypharmacy, all of us know, and more important thing is high medical care expenditures. These definitely puts our country requiring HMR. It's not that just what I learned, I have already mentioned. We did a study in Mysore. In fact, it was published. HMR activity we have published in a journal. This we have done in association with the general practitioner. In fact, in Mysore, there is an organization called as Family Physician Association of India, Mysore chapter. So the president, he was one of the like board members in Sharda Vilas College of Pharmacy in Mysore. So luckily, in some occasion, I met him, and he wanted some time to teach his students in Sharda Vilas College some some topics which he want to me to cover. I had a chance, so I did that. So that gave him a kind of soft corner, and I just explained my concept to him. Then he said, "Yeah, definitely we can do it." Immediately in the next month, he had a Family Physician Association of India meeting, and he invited me to be as a resource person for that. So I presented this concept. Then immediately one Dr. Nataraj, he was there close by to the general JSS hospital. So he was impressed, and he expressed his interest. Said, why don't we do it together? So we initiated the dialogue. At the department level, we discussed, and then we started the work. And then he used to refer the patients to us, all his patients who are having the comorbidities and a little elderly. So he used to refer almost 50 patients during the study we have taken, and we have done. We have assessed the adherence behavior, and we have seen the clinical outcomes, how much it is improving, all that. And the findings were more appealing, and we made a presentation and even publication. Now, how we will go forward? Friends, I'm really keen, especially the PharmD faculty who wants to guide their 5th year PharmD students. Please take out this concept as one of the projects. But further, we definitely require the GP support. So we have to make an impression in the GP minds. Luckily, even in Surapet also I did this. In Surapet, the IMA, Indian Medical Association, so I met the president. Fortunately, he was in the Lions Club, so through that club means I could able to reach him, and we had a wonderful, fruitful discussion. Then we initiated the health screening services activity and referred some patients to him, those who are detected having they are newly detected having diabetes or hypertension. So in that way, he was very much happy in sharing the cases and sharing the support to me. So please initiate that kind of any opportunity there in your place with family physicians or Indian Medical Association. Initiate an HMR activity for the patients who are recommended by clinicians. Maybe start with one clinician, fine. Not necessarily you have to go to everybody. Yeah, one clinician may be recommending one patient maybe a day or maybe once in 2 days or 3 days, no problem. So we have to do for 6 months. In 6 months, if we get around 25 to 30 patients, we can calculate the statistics also. So in that way, we can definitely initiate the work. And my way look at it, I just wish like all of us do this activity in different areas, collect the findings, and then you interpret all the findings, and then you come out with something, a more appealing outcome which can be influence the government. I think probably we are creating future for our family people. I'm 100% sure about it. It is going to happen. See, initially, when I was in as a chairman in IPA, like these PharmD guys are accepted by the NABH. So I made an initiative going to Delhi, met the NABH CEO. That time it was Dr. Kalra was there. After so much of persuasion, he had agreed to give 15 minutes time for me to share my thoughts. But once I started discussing, in fact, at that time the permanent parliament sessions were going, and these people have to be, sometimes whenever there is a question, they should run around. So even despite that, he advised his deputy to go, and he was with me for almost spending 1.5 hours, and then he said, yes, this is what I need to know, what is clinical pharmacy. He was thinking that clinical pharmacy is a fellow with a diploma in pharmacy. But when I explained everything, what is the core knowledge and competencies of these clinical pharmacy, especially PharmD graduates, then the concept has been changed in the definition. So it is PharmD. Yeah, we have to work, we have to move around, we have to convince people. Then only no doubt we do best teaching at the school, but once the students go out, the practice environment is not so cohesive at this moment. That cohesiveness has to be created. Once that cohesiveness improves, automatically the students come to us. Automatically, are definitely the once more the students comes, definitely the revenue will increase. Definitely recognition good comes for us. See, all these things are interlinked. So my request at this stage for all my colleagues, please, my professional friends, please, if you are interested, let us create a project, do it in different places, and compile all the findings and come out with a perfect conclusion. Show it to the government. Let's do it. Then probably we get the usefulness of this learning. So thank you very much for giving me almost 1 hour time. Thank you very much. Hope you have enjoyed. If you have any questions, I'm always ready to. Yes, sir. Any questions? Any questions you have?
Jyoti?
The session is open for questions. We are welcome for your questions. Okay, the session is highly informative and enlightened us on the emerging scope of HMR concept, which was started earlier in 2001 in Australia and has made a grand success. And we also made informative about the intervention of HMR, which showed the beauty of service, that is care, not trade. The session is highly informative, sir, and we also want to be a part of this HMR whenever it gets started in India. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much. It does not get start in India, we have to start. No, it's not somebody is going to do it. You have to seed, you have to start. Then people will understand, okay, this is something new. Let us also start.
It's very interesting, and we are all eager to get part of it, sir.
Thank you very much.
So thank you, Dr. Ramesh Garu.
Sir.
Really, it's a wonderful session, sir, actually. Really, it is a nice one, sir. Home medicines review, HMR concept. And clearly, you explained very clearly, sir, actually. So I hope all the young faculty, young participants who are on the line, actually, maybe on the YouTube or Zoom platform, definitely they understood the concept of your HMR topic, sir. And definitely, as per your hope, definitely, sir, days are very nearer, sir. In India also, we may get this concept that is known as HMR. So you told rightly, sir. We have to take initiation. That's all, actually. We should not expect somebody to come and start, sir. We have to take some initiation, and we have to start this program, sir, because now this pandemic, what we are suffering now, so it is the right time, sir. What I feel is it is the right time also. So immediately, hope within a few days or within a few months, it will come to some end, sir. But after that, definitely all the pharmacy colleges who are having this pharmacy program or pharmacy PV program, definitely if they come forward to start this kind of activity, that is HMR, definitely, sir, we may get some recognition, sir, actually, no doubt. So I think all of you know, on every platform or in every meeting, and in each and every NBW used to say, pharmacists need recognition. But recognition means we'll give, sir, actually, definitely. We have to elevate ourselves, and we have to start. And once again, Dr. Ramesh Garu, thank you very much for sparing your valuable time. And really, I'm very happy, sir, because after a long gap, I think after a long gap, I heard your speech, sir. Because I think if I remember well, some 3 or 4 years back, you came to our college as inspector for our pharmacy program. So you are here for 3 days. During those 3 days, it happened for me to listen to you very closely. And after that, we met in IPC star, actually, December in Chennai, SRM University, that Ramchandra Medical University. So there also we had some interactions, sir. But today, I am really happy, sir. We had a wonderful session, and I thank especially Dr. Vijay Kumar. When we started this program, I asked Vijay Kumar, please search for a suitable speaker for our program. Immediately he asked, sir, I will contact Dr. Ramesh. Then I told us, yes, right choice, and please ask Ramesh, sir. And if he is free and if he is available, definitely we can have that program, sir. That's why we started this program with you only, sir, with your speech only, with your lecture only. We have started this program, sir. It's a nice beginning, no doubt. 100% I can say with confidence it is a nice program, sir. Once again, thank you very much from me, from my team, and from my management also, sir. Once again, sir, thank you very much, sir. Have a nice day, and stay safe.
Dr. Ramesh.
Care, sir. Thank you.
Dr. Ramesh.
Sir.
I am Dr. Vijay Sarathi from Muscat.
Yeah, nice.
I was very keenly listening to your lecture on home medicines review. I just have two small questions, if you can.
Please.
One of them is, what kind of patients are generally advisable to go for these HMRs, or anybody can go in general?
No. Generally, HMR is recommended for the patients who are having comorbidities, where they have to take 4 or 5 medications together. Like in the sense, patient is hypertensive, diabetic, also having some cardiovascular complication, or especially the arthritic conditions, or any other internal issue where patient is also taking some other medications. There is, as all of us know, there is every chance for drug-drug interactions, number one. Number two, drug interactions leading to adverse events, that is another big threat. Third, adherence is another threat for the patient, because too many medications, they may forget, they may say, oh, what is this, how long I have to drug myself, these kind of issues will be. But ultimately, once they understand, there is one more opportunity here in HMR. You can even optimize it. Like there are medications which are really not required. You can definitely talk to your consultant and say, sir, this really not helps any way to the patient. Better this burden can be removed. Not only financially decreases the cost, at the same time the chemical burden will be minimized. So that is an advantage. So in that way, yeah, we convince the doctors and the changes which we have made, and the outcome was very good.
So basically, it is with for people with comorbidities, you are saying.
Yeah, it is more.
And does it have does this HMR concept has any medico-legal implications as well?
As such, especially in Australia, it is being funded by the government. There is not any medical legal issues, because everything is in direction with the general physician's recommendation. Pharmacist is going. Pharmacist is acting only as a facilitator. He is not intervening anything directly to the patient. Whatever that he is observing is coming back to the GP in the form of a report. He'll also discuss, and based on the report, the GP. There is not any medical legal issues. So, everything is in direction with the coming to. Nothing that there is a medical legal issue.
Last question, sir. Why is a pharmacist not allowed? Because he has studied so much about the drugs, their formulations, everything. Why he is not allowed to sell the drugs over the counter? Why every time he needs a prescription for a drug to be given?
I don't know the situation in Oman.
Because in Oman, that is the situation. That is why I was asking.
In India, it is everything is over the counter. Diazepam you get over the counter, including sildenafil.
I was having a throat infection and I asked for that azithromycin tablets. So he said that unless and until you get a prescription from the doctor, you will not get all those things. So that's
Sir,
why
actually, all the medicines
they are also equally knowledgeable, I believe.
Yeah. All the medicines are categorized, the schedule 8. They are the prescription medications. Like azithromycin belongs to the simplex one, which is antibiotic obligatory prescription. And some countries, like in Australia, they have categorized the medication like pharmacist only medicine, where you don't require any prescription, but the pharmacist can take a decision on your clinical condition, can fill the prescription. Or sometimes over-the-counter medicines also there is another category. But clearly, when there is a prescription medicine, obviously required to have a prescription. That is guaranteed.
Thank you so much.
The same thing it is in open, I believe.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for spending your time to clarify these doubts.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you for your wonderful session. I got the feedback from the various participants. The session was very informative and wonderful.
Thank you, Vijay. Have a nice
Thank
day.
you, sir.
Enjoy.
Thank you, sir. Good day, sir. Take care, sir. Okay, Vijay. Sardi garu.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much for making me a part of this talk also. I really enjoyed every bit of it.
ఓపిక విన్నారండి. మాకు కూడా ఇది కొత్త కాన్సెప్ట్ సార్. యాక్చువల్ నేను నేర్చుకున్న ఫార్మసీ వేరు, ఇది ఫార్మసీ ప్రాక్టీస్ డిఫరెంట్.
నేను ఎప్పుడు వినలా, అదే ఫస్ట్ టైం నేను వింటున్నా, అందుకని నాకు చాలా ఇంట్రెస్టింగ్ అనిపించింది.